I've got the recorder going, and we're off to the races. We are starting chapter 3 this week. I'm going to try to get some stuff graded for y'all within the next few days. I did work in the 2451 class that I've got 40-some students in. I had 48 or something submissions for the first assignment, and that took me, I think, about 4 or 5 hours Saturday afternoon to do, along with answering emails while I was doing it too. And then yesterday I ended up with a real busy day. I ended up having to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, help a friend out that had a family emergency. So I didn't get online at all in classes yesterday. I got in at midnight last night. And today, as soon as I finish this session, I'm headed for Rome to meet with a student that's needing some assistance. And then back home, and then at 8 o'clock, I've got a Skype session with my internship students that are working on some web pages for me. So another full day for me. And then I got classes tomorrow all day long. So I'll try to squeeze some in. But I do need to grade discussion from last week still. Not the one that was due today, but the discussion that was due last Monday has not been graded yet. And I got to get busy on that. So I've got to do some work on that. Maybe tonight that I'll just throw something together for meeting the school regulation on it, and then get the grading done in another day or two. Hopefully Wednesday that I can get a good bit done, but we'll wait and see what happens on Wednesday. I know I got Chamber of Commerce that morning as an ambassador, and I've got several other things going on, but I don't think anything during the day otherwise. So hopefully I can make some progress that day. So it continues to be a full schedule. So I will try to get y'all's first assignment graded, and let y'all see what you did, and possibly there may be some things y'all need to fix on it too. And I realize that could have an impact on other chapters. So we'll continue on along. And I've got to get posted out there. I need to update my posting of the program that I use for the real estate website to using the new commands, because it's the one I've got out there has actually got old commands in it working with the database that do not work anymore if you're using newer versions of PHP. Found that out when I moved it to a new server. So we are on to chapter 3 this week. This will count to those listening live. This does count for the week 5 discussion. I'll get those posted as soon as I can too. Last week and the week before, up through last week, I do have all of the people that have done the collaborate sessions, their grade posted out there in the grade book. Did get that done last week. So let's see where it goes from here. All right, so when you get into chapter 3, y'all are working with strings in chapter 3. That can get interesting at times of trying to do some things with it, but it shouldn't be real big problem of that. There have you ways to pull things out of it and combine items together on it. So I think that'll be a pretty interesting chapter as you work through it. If you have questions on it now, I can answer questions. And if you have questions on through this weekend, next week, because you got 2 weeks on it, obviously, since we do 2 weeks on every chapter in this course. If you run into questions, feel free to email me with questions. That has been my priority that I've been doing so far all along, is email gets answered over everything else. Besides that, school also had me have to do about a 30-minute training course today on hazardous materials. I've got to turn in my midterm evaluation that they did of me last week, that I could get that thing signed and turned in. Also, and then my contract for teaching an extra class this semester. And I left those in the car, so I'll just have to bring those in tomorrow morning. Permission forms doesn't apply to y'all. I've still got to do those, get those posted. All right, any questions for me, Janice? All right. On other chapters, there's something on chapter 2, for instance, that's due today. Because I can answer stuff other than just chapter 3. If you pass the parameters, if they're passed by value, it's actually the value. If you do it reference, because you can put values in there, and you could use a variable for passing it, but you could pass it as a reference back to a value on it, to a location. In that case, it's going to change. If you do it by reference, then if you change it inside wherever you called to, it's actually going to change it in the original location. If you just pass the value across, then if you do a change, it only applies inside wherever you've passed it to, but it doesn't apply to the higher level on that level one. Does that make any sense? So most of the time, probably that I have, my experience has been that I usually did value passing and not reference, that I was trying not to change it back on the other spot. But there is need for both of them. So you'll use it both ways. So hopefully that helped with my explanation there. But reference, it is you're referring to a storage location. You're not referring to the actual data in it. And so then when you say something about it, it's looking back to the original storage location. And if you make a change in it, it sort of changes it everywhere back from there. If you've just passed a value, it's now got a new storage location, and it just applies inside the section you're in. All right, any other questions for me? Because actually, I'm teaching a course in program design, and I think we go over that tomorrow. So that, and that I just have been looking at that. So that one is a new one for me. Okay. If there's not any other questions, then I'm going to go ahead and let you go, because I've got to go to Rome at this point to meet a student in about 2 hours, and it's going to take me 1 hour and 15 minutes or more driving time. Plus, I got to stop and get gas as I pull out to head down there. So that'll give me a chance to jump on the road a minute or two earlier. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And this does give you credit for the week 5 discussion, which I posted this morning. It was a little slower getting it posted, but it's out there.